So, Mark, we're into the third week of October.
Yeah, we are.
We're knee deep in some data here that isn't looking the best still.
No, it's not. And I mean, still 557 listings to date, but we've seen a slowdown on the upcoming listings in the last little while. It seems like everybody listed right, when the kids got back to school, and they're sprinkling on, et cetera, et cetera. But we got to keep in mind too, a lot of I think we figured out the numbers some time ago where we figured out all the relist properties and they counted for like about 30 to 35% of the property. So of listings on the board that are old, tired, a lot of high price stuff, overpriced, not good areas, et cetera. So, we're seeing a bit of that, but we're not seeing the sales compared to last year at this time. And that's, a bit of a concern right now. Again, we've talked this to death about higher borrowing costs. Maybe it's caught up to everything. Maybe it's just not the right inventory. I don't know, but we're not seeing the sales that we did last year.
No. So the numbers for this week last year was 38 sales in the city of Barrie. And this year we're down to 26.
Yeah, that's again, let's clarify that for the viewers too. Like we're doing this video at 11:30 on Friday. We're going to get some sales in there, right? Firming up today. So, we're at 26 right now. By the end of today and over the weekend, it could be 34, 35, but as we speak right now, 26 to 38, that's a fair, a smaller number than last year's sales. So let's see how it goes. I think as we see some better weather, I hope to see not better weather, but worse weather. It might drive people out, but the weather's still pretty nice to do some activities out there.
Well, and what's funny is with detached in the same week, last year there was 31 detached and this week 18.
Yeah, that's a big drop, but to be expected, I think too. Last year we didn't, we're sitting in a lot fewer rate hikes than we are this year. So that's to be expected, I think. We're still seeing some good sales out of the lower price detached sell fairly well, but on the higher end detached properties, I think I have the sales here. There's one sale over $1 million this week out of 26 sales. That's a pretty small number. It seems like every week that number is getting smaller and smaller, and each month the same thing.
Well,
right?
even in the 8s and 9s, there's not as much.
No, I got the breakdown. So let's go through the breakdown. So out of the sales, we'll go to the price points and then we'll kind of go into the categories. So for sales between 500 and 699,000, there was 3 sales. That's to be expected because there's just not a lot of inventory in that price range.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That number really didn't surprise me. 700 to 800,000, there was 10 sales. Okay, so that seems to be the sweet spot consistently for the last several months.
Yeah.
It's that 7 to 8 range, and 8 to 9 range, there was 4 sales. So, that 6, 7, 8 is pretty strong still. Is there enough of that right inventory out there? Looking what I see, not really. I'm seeing some dated homes in that price range and money to be spent in them, but
Well, and a lot of the new listings I see coming up, like they're pretty high for what they are. But then again, like I'm having a hard time with it because I see some selling really, really low. Some nice houses in some nice areas selling really, really low. And then I'm seeing the odd one that is high, I think.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too, and this week there's 2 properties that jump out at me that I was kind of surprised at what they sold for. And one is on 39 Bloom, listed for 818,000, sold for 768. I forgot to get the days on market, but it was double digits. It was over 30 days. I mean, that's a great area. I thought that was extremely good value and the house showed well. So There could be a story behind it. We don't know, right? We
Mhm.
know that some people are pressured out there financially today with the rates, especially the variable products. Who knows? So to me, that was someone had to sell because that was a smoking deal in my mind. And the other one was 120 Courtney, listed 799, sold for 730. It was a detached, about 1,800 square feet. Not a bad, it was dated. I mean, there was a lot of work in there, but not a bad price for $730,000.
No,
So
I know. Well, like there's townhouses selling for that.
100%, there is. But looking at some of the townhouses even this week, I didn't see a lot in the 7 South. And we know where they are over by St. Pete's School, small, some on Greer, some on a couple other areas, some are tenanted, some aren't, but they're asking big bucks, right? I mean, they're
Well, I think
superior
the problem
situation.
is, Mark, they paid big bucks.
They paid big bucks, 100%. They paid big money. And that's the thing, right? They probably bought those 2021, maybe 2022, depending, right? Because they put them up pretty quick. So to your point, yeah, they paid some big money for some of those properties, but the market's not going to give them what they want.
Well, and a lot of people bought those on like spec, right? There was a lot of investors that bought them knowing they were never going to move in and they were going to try to sell them.
Mm-hmm. See a lot of that. So I think the market right now is just in a bit of a going sideways. It could go up, it could go down. I'm more leaning to down than up right now, until I think we get some confirmation on where the economy is going into next year.
Well, do you think, and you know what, and that's what I'm almost thinking now, is that people are waiting to see what the hell's going to happen. Like you talk to other realtors, and like we're all in the same boat saying we have no idea. We don't know what's going on.
No, we can only, it's no different than we're doing right now. We're reporting on the data that we see this week. It's already happened. Do we see a trend right now? No, we've seen it, pretty consistent the last few weeks, right? Maybe the last 5-6 weeks, right? When the kids got back into school, things just slowed down and it's not really picking up steam. But I'm going to be anxious to see, well, I'll be watching the board closely today to see how close we get to that 38 sales by the end of the day. We're at 26. We need 12 more. Will it happen?
No.
I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of deals that firm up on Fridays. I've been watching a few, so maybe. So, maybe
I don't think there'll be 12. You might get 2 or 3.
Oh, I think it'll be more than 2 or 3. But, we'll see. Maybe we do a video on Monday to say, hey, a quick minute video on what we saw on the sales. I wouldn't mind doing that Monday morning to see. But it'd be nice. That would put some confidence, I think, in some people. But I see a little bit of an uptick in a sense this week over last week. In a sense, some more sales getting reported. We've seen a few. I got my notes here. So the weekly updates that I got, there was 99 new listings. Again, we've talked about that before. Probably 40 of those 99 were relist properties, terminated, relisted. Very consistent. 34 price changes, 12 conditionally sold, and then 6 sold over list price. Yeah, and then the deals that we talked about. So again, that's of an hour ago. Let's see what happened the rest of the day.
And we're still getting the odd person, because a couple listings came up yesterday and the day before at $599 or $499, and they're withholding offers, trying to get the bidding war.
Correct.
And some of them are working. They're not getting way high over.
No, they're not. To me, they're getting market value, right? Looking at them. I think there was one that was listed on, was it Ruffin, I think, $499, and they got 6 and change for it, I think. We know it's not selling for $499, right? They got what the market was going to give them. I'd be very surprised if they would have had a 7 in front of that number.
Well, I saw one in the Allendale area a couple of weeks ago at $599. I don't think it was on Chieftain, but that area.
Yeah.
And it sold for $625, and it was fully detached. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Why would you have even accepted that? That's craziness.
There's some of those, like, whoa, what's going on? That's a surprise. And we're starting to see more of that as we progress, right? How many
Yeah.
people you know that, you know, have their house listed right now and they've already bought something else? You did a deal last week. Seller had to sell.
Yep.
So, you know, when crunch time comes, you know, and some panic sets in, let me tell you, they're gonna take what they get and move on.
Well,
But
and this is what I'm wondering too. Like if you put it at 599 and you get 4 or 5 offers and the highest is 625, does the realtor and the seller think, okay, well, we threw it out there and this is what the market's willing to give, so we're going to take it. Even though, like, between you and I, that house, like, there was no way it was 625.
no, but some fear could have got into, and I ran into that last year in, I think it was probably April or May, where we listed a property on Courtney, big bungalow, well, good sized bungalow, fully finished. I think we put 650 or 699. That week we only got one offer and it was 650. And we go, well, we're not taking that. Traffic was down, not a lot of showings. So I said, let's extend that. Let's extend the offer date by 1 week. Went onto the board, changed the comments to offers accepted this date. Well, the following week, we got 4 offers and we got $100,000 more in a change in of a week. So we all know that this business is up and down and driven by traffic. 1 week it's busy, 1 week it's not. 1 month is crazy, next month we're twiddling our thumbs, but that's the way it goes. So I don't know. I mean, if someone doesn't have to sell, I probably wouldn't have let that property go for 625, the one you're talking about. I said,
No,
hey,
I wouldn't. When I saw it, I was like, holy,
no.
and the problem is once you do that, now you're lowering the value in the whole neighborhood. Because now when my neighbor lists,
They're gonna look at it.
well, and as a buying agent, I'm gonna say, well, that one just sold for 625. How much more am I gonna give you? Because
Yeah.
now I'm overpaying.
It really makes it, yeah, it really puts that buying agent in a tough spot. Because now they have data saying, well, look, here's a recent sold. This sold a month ago at this price, and you want 675. And they're almost apples to apples. Pretty tough,
It's
right?
tough.
Tough. That buying agent has their work cut out for them on negotiating, because that's a tough side. That's a real hard one. And
Yeah.
you know, I have a listing coming up, and I told my people a couple weeks ago, let's not rush it to the market. I just think we should just slow it down. There's a lot of inventory. We're not seeing the sales. We just may get missed, and we just might blend in with everything else. Let's wait and see if some of this inventory starts selling. So we're going to do it next month at the first, week of the month, but I hope to see some more product, turning over. So.
My listings are getting no showing still. I had a couple out in Clearview, I think I told you last week, and then nobody else is getting nothing.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of quiet. And even look at the solds every day on the board a few times. There's just not a ton of activity, right? So
I think people are scared and they're waiting because
think,
a lot of people I'm talking to, and I've had a lot of people commenting and reaching out through YouTube.
Yep.
And they're worried that the prices are going to go down because everything is really slow and it seems like nothing's happening. So they figure there's going to start getting the desperation sales.
Yeah, well, see, if we say to Bloom and Courtney that sold relatively cheap and we went, wow, was it desperation? We'll never know, maybe. But I think if someone is looking for that desperation sale, I don't think the market's bottom is in the shitter for that type of sale right now. I really don't.
We're seeing the odd one kind of go low.
Yeah, we are.
But it's not all of them.
It's not all of them, right? And there's a good chunk of the people out there today that are reading the headlines from Toronto Star or whatever site they're looking at, and there's a lot of negativity about the market. If anyone wants to get good education about the market, pick up the phone, call a realtor. They have the data sitting right at their fingertips, can tell them anything they want to know, right? But no, they're going to read that article and go, oh my God, the market's going to drop 30%. What? We're not seeing that. We're not really seeing a lot of prices drop. We're seeing some in the higher range, some, mid-ranges hanging in there pretty good. We're seeing the odd little slip, but we're not seeing a downtrending market as of yet in prices. Amount of sales recorded, yeah, we are, but I don't see the prices dropping yet. In some,
No, but you know what? The media puts out a couple of these articles and then everybody, but you know what? It's happened in every kind of market when it was booming and when it wasn't. You know, the media is impacting the market on purpose, I think.
well, fear sells, right? So people like to gravitate to that. So, and we look at the financial markets too, like the bond yields are all like, I think in the US today, even yesterday, they hit like 5% fixed rate. So these fixed rates are going up. What happens if we see a variable product being more attractive than a goddamn fixed rate? Like Powell did some speaking yesterday and talked about, yeah, we're seeing some changes, et cetera, but his goal is still 2%, et cetera. So the market kind of sells off and they're going to keep raising. He didn't say he's going to keep raising, but they may be higher for longer because they're producing good results in the US.
Right.
So, and I'm sure our bond, like I don't follow us too much in Canada. I'm sure the bond yields are going bananas here right now as well. So,
well, Rob was telling me the last 2-3 weeks, the mortgage rates, the banks have raised them, even though the Bank of Canada rate hasn't gone up. They've gone up anyway.
That's the bond yields, correct? Yes. So that's a thing, right? Like, whoa. They started off red today. I haven't checked again right now, but that impacts, right? So that could be interesting. So I want to go over a couple things, just to go through a couple categories. We covered off the detached. I want to cover off condos. There's 186 listed.
I had to grab something, you talk.
Okay, there was 4 sales. They were all under $500,000. I've mentioned this in a previous videos too. We're seeing the 800,000 and above, even the high sevens, take a long time to sell. And I think with the higher borrowing costs, element fees in there, the numbers are whacked out. They won't qualify. So that's taking a beating. There was one sale, 637,500. So condo market seems to be taking a little bit of a quietness this week.
Yeah.
Townhouses, there was 6 sales this year, 5 last year. Hang on a second. There was 2 townhome sales that sold over asking and 1 sold at full list price, and 1 semi-detached priced at $799 and got $650 1 sale. So, again, there's never a lot of semi-detaches I found in the market anyway. And duplex properties, a big 0 this year and a big 0 last year. And I think we all know why.
Yeah.
Well,
I've been walking, when I walk my dog through the neighborhood, there's been some townhouses here for sale forever.
Yeah. Why are they tenanted?
No.
Kind of surprised.
And they're listed in the mid-6s.
How do they show? Like I've seen a few on the board, but
by the pictures. Good.
Yeah. Then there are some realtors out there that put the old 10 years ago pictures looking look good, and you walk in the door and you go, what? This isn't.
Well, I walk by there every day, right? And the outside is very well kept.
Yeah.
Nice gardens, end unit.
Yeah.
Now there's a couple in the mid units, which usually take longer.
Didn't I see one sell though? Didn't I see one sell over there at the end unit?
Yeah, but he put it at $499 or $599. He's been trying to sell it for months, and then he lowered it, got the bidding war, and got the mid-6.
Yeah, that's the one I recognize. That's one this week. Yeah. Well,
the other ones are all just sitting there.
But we see a lot of those townhomes. That's an average price, $620 to $650 for something average, maybe 15 years old, dated. But then when you get up to higher categories and mid-7s and 7s, it better show well.
Yeah. Well, this one is kind of like, yeah, it's original. It's not all, new kitchen, but it's clean. It looks nice. It's an end unit, big extended driveway. Like, I don't know. I walk by it every day and I think, I can't believe this thing is still here. It's not priced really high. Like,
no, I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I've been keeping an eye on it as well. I don't really have anything else. I think this week I'm really going to be watching the board, as I mentioned, to see if that number 26 rises today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm good. I think that unfortunately, I'd like one of these updates to be banging. Everything's going crazy.
yeah, well, yeah, I don't think that's happening in 2023. But you know what? If we see a rate decrease, that's going to spark something. It's going to draw some people back. We know they're not going to be big, but we need to see some more negative things on the economy. And then, last week the jobs were 64,000. The print was going to be 20. So still hiring going on, but what type of hiring is going on? I didn't dive deep into it. You look at these retailers, they're hiring their Christmas staff now. They're revving up right now too. So, come the new year, those jobs are going to be gone. A lot of these temp hires. So we're in a real funny playing field right now.
Oh, I have one little thing to add. So I have a friend who called me this week about a referral, and she works for a property management company that does the power of sales. Like, she says there's like none.
Really interesting. See, and then you hear someone else is talking about the banks where they're saying, 4 or 5 a month, now it's up to 50. But again, that's that's just not, we're not talking Barrie, we're talking geographically, right? It could be across.
Yeah,
Canada.
she works out of Toronto, but she said in the height, like, if I don't know how many years ago, she had 12 staff. Now she has 2.
Yeah. Well, I remember doing a lot of those type of properties in 2012 and 2013. One year I did 17 power sales.
Yeah.
Like, that's huge. I can't tell you when the last time I had a power sale listing.
No, I know, because people under this perception that everybody's going to lose their house, everybody's struggling, Mark, they're not.
They're not, right? And the right inventory is still not coming up because maybe that home sellers just can't afford to trade up, but wants to trade up. So it's barely impacted by listings as well. And I think, last video we did, I got a stat where 62% of millennials are holding off on their home search because they're probably the 62% things, it's going to bottom out. Young demographic watches the news online like a hawk. Fear sets in, we're going to scale back and we're just going to wait and see.
I'm telling you, that's what my buyers are, the people I'm talking to, that's what they're saying. They're waiting. They think there's going to be something happening.
No, that would have happened a year ago, right? Last year, we've seen a bit of a lull and then a reality, and then we've seen some stability for several months. Let's see what 2024 brings.
Well, and the other thing I said was, what is your idea of getting a good deal or stealing a house? Yep. Is it 25,000 off the market value? Is it 50? Mm-hmm. Is it 100? Mm-hmm. People don't give away houses, right?
There's no need to. There's no need to. If that buyer out there is holding off to say, I want to save 100 grand, good luck. Go buy in Kapuskasing.
Yeah.
You're not buying here. You're not buying, Simcoe or even Forest North Bay. Like, you're not buying. And
I went through every sale in the last 2 weeks, and the lowest was 97% of list.
That's it. And that's the consistent number we've been seeing for several months. List the sale price, 97%. They're seeing it in the GTA market too, 97%. They're seeing it in London as well, 97.2%, I believe it was. That's the number. So
you're not
85% the list price. We're not seeing 75% the list price. And, and I don't know where that public is getting information. And I really believe through some of these investment seminars they go to, and I've had a couple of referrals from some people that host them, and I'm going, Jesus Christ, don't send me any more of these, because I can't talk any sense into this buyer. They're telling them one thing that, and I tell them this is going to sell for this, or this is going to sell over list price. I can get you in before we list it, but I'm going to tell you, this is where we see it going. Oh no, that's going to be 100 grand less. Really? I'm the expert here, not you. You took some 20-minute course from someone that told you how to buy properties cheap. Good luck with that, because you're not here for that.
Yeah, there's always homeowners that are in trouble And they're, you're going to buy them at this wholesale, cheap price.
Yeah. Get in now. Sign up for our $1,000 course for 3 online sessions.
Yeah.
God, how about call a realtor?
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Well,
Okay,
not only that, Mark, these people that are selling the courses and doing all these seminars and stuff, they're making, most of them, or a lot of them, were real estate agents at one time, who now have figured out a way that they don't have to sell houses anymore. Right? They're getting all these people to pay this money for all these training seminars that most of the information is antiquated. Like, it's from like 25 years ago.
I know. It's so outdated. It doesn't fit with the times. Like, you're selling a product that was, like, say 20 years old or even 3 years ago. Doesn't work.
No.
Just talk about how many power sales I did back in 2012. Yeah, that was the time to buy some stuff, and people were in some troubles, and the sheriff was knocking on the door next week. We got to get them out. You don't have no choice. You got to take this, or it's going to get turned over to writ of possession from the lender, and then the fees you're going to be drowning even more. Okay, let's sign the doc. Yeah, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But I've never seen that again. That's been 8 to 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't happen anymore.
Doesn't. It's rare. We've had tight lending restrictions here for many, many years. Yeah, I know there's some people hurting out there. I know that there's people hurting and struggling out there with these variable products today. Yeah, but not all of them are going to throw in the white towel and say, I'm done.
No.
Right? Or some might say, okay, you know what, I'm going to get out and maybe you can break even or lose 25 grand, but then they got to go rent and pay the rent. So I don't think they're really further off ahead.
Well, they're not. The rent is higher than the mortgage anyway. So they're borrowing money. They're using lines of credit. They're using credit cards.
Yep.
Whatever they got to do to get it to work. Yep. Because everybody is in the same thought process that these rates are going to come down. Eventually, they're coming down. So I just have to hold on until they do.
100%. 100%. And I think a lot of them are.
They are. They're making it work some way.
That's it. Rent a room out, do your basement up, put a tenant in, whatever. Anything you could do to generate some extra revenue. Get a second part-time job, whatever. Hang in there, because we all know once rates come down, these assets are going to go up. And there's going to be more people coming forward to buying, that they're going to lift it right back up.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Just don't know when. Okay, let's end it off there. Happy Friday.
Yes. And maybe we'll check in Monday and see how many sold.
Yeah, let's do it. And if you like the content, give it a like, give it a subscribe. This kind of really motivates us when we see our followers pick up. It really motivates me to do more content. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of positive comments.
That's great. Yeah. It's awesome. Okay, see ya.
See ya.